Right now on the National Weather Desk, damaging hailstorm. Massive hail falls on central Texas, leaving behind a big mess.
If there's not significant damage to the windshield, then there's hail damage of some sort, like dents on the hood.
Tracking the tropics. Ophelia turns roads into lakes across several states. Now we're watching new systems in the Atlantic. Back to Earth. The first sample of an asteroid older than our planet makes a safe landing.
Now the scientists who were excited to see it land are really looking forward to opening it up.
Eclipse viewing. How to make sure the glasses you buy for next year's solar eclipse are safe for your eyes.
Unfortunately, there are a lot of fakes out there.
Plus, a closer look at what causes leaves to change color.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Well, good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Eileen Whalen. Well, a strong hailstorm rocked Austin, Texas overnight, and the damage this morning is significant. This is what it sounded like as massive hailstones fell close to midnight. They were part of a severe thunderstorm that rocked central Texas. And some of those hailstones were huge. Look at that. There are multiple reports of baseball and golf ball sized hail. Damage to cars and homes is serious. Abigail Velez is in Round Rock, Texas with more.
Every car that we have seen, if there's not significant damage to the windshield, then there's hail damage of some sort, like dents on the hood. Take a look at this. This is what thousands and thousands of dollars in damages look like. This back windshield is completely bashed through, and it's not the only car that looks like that here at the Kia in Round Rock. You can see there's another vehicle with similar damages. Round Rock police told CBS Austin last night that there was significant property damage and isolated power outages in the city. Weather alerts from CBS Austin meteorologists came through yesterday starting at about 7 p.m. for a severe thunderstorm watch with anticipated large hail falling, gusty winds, which is exactly what we saw. Now, reports that came into our newsroom late last night say that multiple homes have been damaged. And as you saw, multiple vehicles too. Now, some areas further up north saw some flooding, but the main story this morning that we're looking at is, again, that hail. Now, I want to show you something interesting. I took this photo, and this is a bash that one of these windshields has in the vehicle. Now, if you're looking at this bash, you can see that it's, quite large, but to give you an idea, I measured it, and it's about 6 inches in width and 8 inches in height. That's twice the size of the palm of my hand, which is measuring out to be the size of a large grapefruit. So again, significant damage that we're seeing this morning.
Well, now to Minnesota, where 4 inches of rain over 2 days sparked flooding in some places. Now, streets in Duluth near the North Shore and in Douglas County all inundated with water. Now, even though the rainfall ended Sunday afternoon and a flood warning expired Sunday evening, it definitely took time for the waters to recede, and more scattered showers are expected today. Well, Ophelia is now post-tropical, and while it certainly brought heavy rain and winds to some areas, it thankfully wasn't as impactful as it could have been. In eastern North Carolina, the story really was the storm surge. The rising water flooded many communities near Washington, just east of Greenville. Homes, businesses, cars, and boats were all damaged by the surge from the Pamlico Sound. Fortunately, there are no deaths blamed on the storm. Now to Crisfield, Maryland we go, where the morning and evening high tides sent waters flooding through downtown and nearby residential streets, cutting off travel in several parts of the city. Neighbors say it could take a week for all the water to clear. Still, they say the impact was minor compared to other tropical storms. And in New Jersey, Ophelia may have lost strength, but the punch was enough to send a tree slicing into the roof and wall of this home and damaging this fence along the way. The remnants of Ophelia will continue to bring rain to the mid-Atlantic and New England through much of the day. And we are tracking the tropics this morning with more activity from 2 systems. Meteorologist Lauren Oleski shows us where they are and where they could be going.
We'll get a quick check on the tropics for you right now. We've got a wave that could be developing in the Gulf. It's going to move west, not a concern for us, really low development chance there. Then we've got Tropical Storm Philippe. We've got another wave. This will likely curve out to sea, although it does have a pretty good chance to become a depression or tropical system towards the end of the week. Here's the latest track on Philippe. Again, we do expect this to curve out to sea. Florida's all the way over here, so we'll be in good shape with this. Winds right now are at 50 miles per hour. Could see the strengthen a little bit, but likely still stay at tropical storm strength over the next few days.
Well, fall is officially here. It began early Saturday morning, and that's where the equator is aligned directly with the sun. Rhode Island meteorologist Anthony Macari has a more detailed explanation on what the autumnal equinox really means.
The way we actually can determine exactly when the equinox is when the sun is shining directly over the equator. Equinox is Latin for equal nights and therefore equal days, 12 hours of both. But that's only directly at the equator. As we know here in southern New England, we are, of course, north of the equator. So the sunlight has made its way from the summer solstice that's shining over the Tropic of Cancer, which is why our days are longer since we're here in the northern hemisphere. But now the sun is slowly going to be working its way down toward the Tropic of Capricorn. And that means here for us, by the time we get to the winter solstice, it will be the shortest day and the longest night. Now, overall, the reason why we have the varying times and the varying days is because the length of the year is not exact. We know it is 365 days. It's actually 365.25. Not a perfect type of cycle here. So that's why we add a leap day every 4 years. And the time of the equinox can vary. Sometimes it's not just hours. It can be one day or the other.
Well, want more proof that fall is here? Check out this video posted to X, the site formerly known as Twitter. This is a drive along Utah Highway, or along a Utah highway, I should say. And as you can see, some of the trees are already showing their best colors, but there is certainly more color to come over the next few weeks. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, a big day in Utah's West Desert as a sample from an asteroid dropped to Earth. It's the ending of a mission that began more than 7 years ago when the spacecraft was first launched. Lincoln Graves was at Dugway Proving Ground southwest of Salt Lake City as the capsule carrying the sample touched down.
We didn't really know where this thing was going to land. There was a giant possible landing zone in the desert behind me, but it really came down without a hitch. It took about 20 minutes for a helicopter to bring that capsule back to this airfield. Now the scientists who were excited to see it land are really looking forward to opening it up. As dawn crept up on Utah, a capsule carrying a sample of an asteroid had already separated from its spacecraft high above Earth.
At about 47,000 feet.
Just before 9 a.m., it careened into the atmosphere, heading for the West Desert.
It went absolutely perfectly. Absolutely perfect landing. We stuck it. We didn't move. We landed in nice soft soil.
Dante Loretta dreamt up this mission years ago. To see it near its end left him emotional.
I cried like a baby in that helicopter when I heard that the parachute had opened and we were coming in for a soft landing. It was just an overwhelming moment for me.
The entire conclusion was carefully orchestrated. A team of dozens with NASA working with military at Dugway Proving Grounds. Helicopters took off early this morning to greet the capsule. After it landed, crews carefully wrapped it up and attached it to a helicopter. It was then carried to a waiting clean room where specialized crews were waiting to get it ready for opening next week. That's when the discovery begins and why scientists wanted to bring the sample here.
It's a treasure trove from the very beginning of our solar system. From what we saw at the asteroid, it looks like material that's not in our meteorite collection, which is absolutely one of the most exciting things we could imagine. And we know it's rich in carbon, it's rich in water based on our remote sensing campaign. And that may hold the clues to why Earth is a habitable world and how did we get here.
That capsule will get a preliminary look over in Utah today, but tomorrow it will be flown to Johnson Space Center in Houston. That's where it will get a full analysis.
Well, Brazil ushered in the start of spring with a rare heat wave. Temperatures topped 100 degrees in Rio de Janeiro. At least 11 states were under a red alert, the nation's most serious warning. The soaring temperatures are at least partly blamed on El Nino, which causes a warming of the ocean currents near this part of the South American coast. The just completed winter was particularly warm. One report says Sao Paulo had its hottest cold season since 1961. And speaking of El Nino, a new report says this will be the first winter in years when we'll feel the effects of the weather pattern. According to NOAA, the south could see wetter and cooler weather, while the north becomes drier and warmer. Historically, El Nino leads to milder winters in the Pacific Northwest, Plains, and Midwest regions. Well, stay where you are because coming up on the National Weather Desk, wet weather means more mosquitoes. We'll tell you where there's an outbreak of a smaller and faster type. And there's going to be a fantastic eclipse within weeks. We'll let you know if your sunglasses are ideal for eclipse viewing.
I'm meteorologist Emily Santa. Let's take a look at the Northeast for today. Temperatures are really varying in the 60s and low 70s. We're looking cooler in northern New England and southern New England, but as we head more west to the state of New York, temperatures will vary in the low to mid 70s. Let's take a look at the precipitation for today as well. Most of the remnants from Tropical Storm Ophelia will be hanging out in southern New England, leaving northern New England pretty dry. A couple of pop-up showers, but other than that, pretty dry.
I'm meteorologist Jonathan Myers, and here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. Our latest weather maker, the remnants of kind of the circulation of Ophelia still spinning their way across portions of the area, especially the farther north you get, Maryland, the Delmarva. That's your best chance of getting a few spot showers out of the leftovers here. Everybody, though, seeing probably some extra clouds, and especially north, temperatures only in the 60s. As you get down into Virginia, temperatures in the 70s. That's the scene here.
Well, tropical moisture surges across Florida for the start of the week. That's going to produce scattered showers and thunderstorms each afternoon along the sea breeze boundary. A few clouds across northern Alabama, Georgia, and into the Carolinas. Maybe a few light showers possible through Tuesday. It's going to be a hot and humid one for the start of the week. Temperatures Monday afternoon ranging anywhere from the 90s across central and south Florida, in the 80s for the Carolinas, and in the upper 80s across the Mississippi River Valley.
The National Weather Desk.
Well, we've been talking a lot today about severe weather, and when it comes to hurricanes, they're measured by something called the Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale. Meteorologist John Gum explains how it works.
It ranks hurricanes on a scale of 1 to 5. Now, the weakest hurricane that still can produce a lot of damage and a lot of problems is a Category 1 hurricane. Category 1 hurricane has winds starting at 74 miles per hour. And this type of hurricane, the weaker hurricanes, can certainly produce scattered damage. It can give us problems with some storm surge, flooding, heavy rainfall, even isolated tornadoes. Now, as we ramp up to a Category 2 hurricane, that's when the winds start to get stronger. 96 miles per hour is the threshold for that one. And those winds, they're really dangerous. And that's when we begin to see moderate damage occurring. As we ramp up higher to the major hurricane level, which starts at Category 3, that is when things start to get extremely dangerous. We have major hurricane force winds now that occur. And you get not just scattered damage, you get extensive damage that begins to occur as those winds climb higher, 111 to 129 miles per hour. This is a major hurricane. But as we ramp it up, the damage gets worse. A Category 4 hurricane now has wind speeds of 130 miles an hour to 156 miles per hour. A Category 4 hurricane causes catastrophic damage, not just from the winds, but from the storm surge, that big wall of water that gets pushed inland. And as we ramp it up even higher, we go to the Category 5 hurricane. Catastrophic damage with the Category 5. Extreme winds, 157 plus miles per hour with the Category 5 storm, and that's not going to leave much standing.
Well, floodwaters can pose many dangers, but one often overlooked risk is the increase in mosquitoes. In California, there's a current mosquito outbreak because of wet weather. Sophia Lesios has more.
Have you noticed your ankles and lower legs itching a lot lately? Since California had a lot of rain this year, it's not surprising more people are getting bitten, especially by a smaller and faster type of mosquito, more commonly known as ankle biters.
They do like lower legs. They are attracted to the smell of our feet. And then since they are low to the ground, we don't hear that typical whine that you normally hear with the mosquitoes. So a lot of times residents don't even know they're being bitten until they start itching.
That's why the Fresno Consolidated Mosquito Abatement District says it's out every week spraying.
We're trying to find any place that mosquitoes can be developing. And then we routinely set traps for mosquitoes within the district.
According to Catherine Ramirez, a science education coordinator from the district, both West Nile virus and St. Louis encephalitis virus have been found in mosquitoes in Fresno County. The abatement district says it's spraying areas and neighborhoods where the diseased mosquitoes have turned up. Ramirez says 2 people in Fresno County have already contracted cases of West Nile virus. Both people were asymptomatic, and it was discovered when they donated blood.
You want to cover any exposed skin. Mosquitoes will find any place you did not put repellent on, and they can also bite through clothing.
Rodriguez says the abatement district is trying to act quickly since both West Nile virus and St. Louis encephalitis can get someone very sick. According to Fresno County Mosquito Control, both viruses can give someone flu-like symptoms and can even cause your brain to swell.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, fall officially began on Saturday. Now, the leaves should start changing their colors very soon, but what exactly causes this change? Let's turn to meteorologist Violet Skybor for the answer.
With the start of fall comes changing leaf colors. And if you've ever wondered why leaves change their color, well, I'll explain. First, let's start off with a green tree, which we see during warmer weather during the summer. But with cooler weather, with the start of fall, the tree's chlorophyll breaks down, which is that green color in the leaves. And that leaves other chemicals that cause color changes. So let's go over the chemicals that cause different colors. First, we have chlorophyll that causes the green color. Then we have xanthophyll, which causes yellow. Carotene creates an orange color. And anthocyanin causes a red color. So that's what causes those different colors on the trees. And also something that's important is the weather. That plays a factor in the color of the leaves. So bright colors are more likely when late summer is dry and autumn has sunny days and cool nights. And the reason why is because sunny days produce a lot of sugar in the leaves. And then cool nights narrow the veins in the leaves and keep that sugar inside the leaf, making it a brighter color of yellow, orange, or red rather than a browner color. But now the opposite thing is you don't want nights that are too cool, because if it drops below freezing, it can actually damage some thin leaves and cause them to die. So just a little interesting fun fact if you're ever wondering why leaves change their color. Hopefully you can pass it along to someone you know.
Well, a warning to beware of fake eclipse sunglasses. So a ring of fire eclipse will be visible from several locations in less than a month. It's a sight millions of people will see, but the only safe way to do it is with special eclipse glasses. Betty Cross found out how to tell the real thing from the fakes.
This is what it looked like in Oregon in 2017 during a solar eclipse. You would think it was nighttime, but only for a few minutes. The sunshine was back as soon as the moon finished passing between the sun and Earth.
Yeah, very exciting, very exciting.
Sue Langley can't wait for her turn to see not one, but 2 eclipses in Texas.
Very exciting. And then we're going to get to see it because it's going to come right over.
Austin, San Antonio, and much of Central Texas are in prime spots to see one or both of the eclipses happening in the next 7 months.
Those 2 eclipses, X marks the spot, goes right over Texas.
Torvald Hessel is a solar eclipse expert. This map shows the X that has 2 eclipses intersecting over Texas. It's a lucky spot to be in on October 14th and April 8th. but only if you have the protection you need to stay safe.
You need to have ISO certified Eclipse glasses. And unfortunately, there are a lot of fakes out there. And then when you look at the sun, you're going to damage your eyes. And if you look long enough at the sun, that damage will be permanent.
To keep your eyes safe, check any Eclipse glasses for the ISO logo. Also, make sure the glasses meet the 12312-2 safety standard. It should be printed on the glasses or be listed on a seller's website. And to be extra safe, check that the vendor selling the glasses is approved by the AAS, or American Astronomical Society. The AAS has a list of suppliers that are verified to meet all safety requirements.
Well, time now for a short break, but first let's take in the views of sheepdogs hard at work.
Well, a very good Monday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buck-Michael. Taking a look at your weather across the Midwest. The best chance for rain is going to be over Minnesota, Wisconsin, down into northern Illinois, and some pockets of mist and drizzle across the Ohio Valley. That rain starts to shift a little bit more to the south and east as we head into your Tuesday. Most of us dealing with rather mild temperatures, a lot of 70s and 80s, 91 there in Wichita. As we get into your Wednesday, that rain shifts closer to the Ohio Valley with temperatures still staying pretty mild.
Through the day today, it'll be scattered in nature. Large hail damaging winds going to be the main threat. Otherwise, partly sunny skies, temperatures 80s and 90s across the region for afternoon high temperatures. Overnight, mainly quiet. And on Tuesday, we'll watch for another storm chance out across far west Texas. High temperatures in the 80s to low 90s.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Rebecca Stevenson. Here's what's happening across the west when it comes to temperatures. We are still hot in parts of southern Arizona for the deserts, while it's cooling down quite a bit in the Pacific Northwest. Cooler temperatures along with the cold front pushing in is bringing in excessive rainfall, even all the way down into Northern California with some strong gusty winds along the coastline, but dry around the Four Corners. That's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, we often think of sunrise and sunset as a time when the sky is full of color. But did you know that just before the sun comes up and just after it sets actually gives the sky more color? Meteorologist Tara Blake explains.
Did you know those beautiful colors ahead of a sunrise and after a sunset have a name? In the morning, it's called civil twilight or civil dawn. It's the period of time in which the atmosphere is partially illuminated by the sun. That's about 20 to 30 minutes before your actual sunrise. And by degrees, that would be 6 degrees below the horizon. For the evening, it's known as civil dusk. And that's the moment when the center of the sun is 6 degrees below the horizon in the evening hours.
Well, viewers across the country are sharing their photos as fall colors start to pop. These come from the Green Bay, Wisconsin area, and as you can see, beautiful colors are already seen there. So it's looking like it's going to be shaping up to be a gorgeous year of fall foliage in the upper Midwest. And we'd love to share your weather content on the air. You can find us on all your favorite social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Just search at Nat Weather Desk. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm meteorologist Eileen Balin, and tomorrow on the National Weather Desk, we'll get updates on the status of fall foliage in every region of the country. So get out, make it a great day, and we can't wait to see you right back here tomorrow on the National Weather Desk.